The Trail of 100 Giants. Walking here feels a little bit like stepping into another world. These giant sequoias tower overhead, hundreds of feet tall, and some more than 1,000 years old. You can't help but feel small as you look up to see these giant trees touch the clouds. Every bend in the trail brings a new view, massive trunks you can't wrap your arms around. It's the kind of place that makes you slow down, breathe a little deeper, and just take it all in. On this episode, we walk the Trail of 100 Giants in Sequoia National Forest and explore the Redwood Meadow Campground just across the road. The Trail of 100 Giants is located in the Sequoia National Forest, about 83 miles northeast of Bakersfield, California. The trail is 1.3 miles long, paved with loop options and interpretive signs to guide visitors. The path is generally easy to follow and wheelchair accessible. Facilities nearby include a paved parking area with restrooms, a gift shop right across the street at the Redwood Meadows Campground, and admission to the trail is $12 per person. I could not find any signs anywhere saying whether it was dog friendly or not, but the campground host told me to go for it just as long as I keep the dog on the leash and pick up after him. On April 15th, 2000, President Clinton dedicated the site, proclaiming under the Antiquities Act to establish the giant Sequoia National Monument.
About 100 years ago, Theodore Roosevelt dedicated America's first national monuments. He said he was doing it because we couldn't improve upon our native landscape. In his words, the ages have been at work on it, and man can only mar it. What you can do is keep it for your children and your children's children. Well, as we've already heard today, these giant sequoias clearly are the work of the ages. They grow taller than the Statue of Liberty, broader than a bus. They are the largest living things on this earth.
Our trip to the Trail of 100 Giants took place in the spring of 2025. Unfortunately, part of the trail was closed due to recent fire damage. However, we still had an amazing time checking out the trail and got more than our money's worth on this little adventure. Later on, back at camp, I grabbed a beer and started prepping dinner for the hungry hikers. Redwood Meadow Campground sits just off the Western Divide Highway, across the street from the Trail of 100 Giants. It's a small campground with about a dozen sites tucked in among the trees. Each site has a picnic table and a fire ring. There are vault toilets available, but no hookups or drinking water, so bring what you need. The road is paved and accessible by most vehicles, though most RVs might find it a little tight. The campground has several yurts available, but most sites can only accommodate tents or camper vans. In my opinion, Site 8, the site we were in, is the only site big enough for a towable trailer. And we're only 25 feet plus the tow vehicle. A teardrop or a pop-up might squeeze into some of the other sites, but read the description carefully before booking a reservation.
Well, we just got back from our walk through the Trail of 100 Giants. Very nice, super easy trail. Had no problem. The entire trail was more than accessible. There are a couple of parts of the trail that are closed, so obviously we couldn't appreciate that. But seeing the giant sequoias this far south was, without having to get to the actual park, was pretty cool, and a relatively short distance for us. So that was awesome. So far, the campground here is pretty impressive for such a small campground. I want to say there's like 12 spots. Didn't take me long to ride my bike all the way around the entire thing. About half the sites are for yurts, which means they're available because yurts are much more expensive, and so only a few of the yurts are being used, whereas all of the tent sites have been used. There's really only 1 or 2 spots where you could fit an RV of any kind, and that's the one that we're in, site number 8. Transit vans, Class Bs, no problem. I think you could fit in a lot of these spots, but we have a 25-foot trailer, and that's about as big as you can go. We're filling out the entire spot with, when you include the tow vehicle. I think there's a couple other spots that are listed as okay for a trailer as long as it's under 20 feet, but I don't know if a 20-foot trailer with a tow vehicle would fit there or not. So again, if you've got any kind of trailer, number 8 is the only one. Don't even waste your time. Some of the spots, some of the yurts spots do have parking that might be big enough for a travel trailer, but then again, you're paying for the yurt, and what do you need a yurt if you've got a travel trailer? I guess unless you're bringing family or kids or friends, and they can stay in the yurt and don't have to use your bed. As of the moment, there is no water up here. Apparently there was water at one point, and I did talk to the camp host, and he basically told me that every time he's told a date as for when something is supposed to be done, he kind of just logs that puts it in his back pocket, because it's going to be a while before anything actually happens. So could be a while, could be within the year, who knows. Speaking of the camp host, fantastic guy. I think he's here with his wife. I assume that was his wife. Great folks, good attitude, who seem to really enjoy what they're doing. What I would call the perfectly suited for the camp host job. And I don't know if they have any other responsibilities as far as other campsites. I know there's I've been to some smaller campgrounds where the camp hosts were required to take care of several small campgrounds that were close to each other, but I don't think there's a whole lot real close to us. So, man, it seems to me if you're going to be a camp host, this would be the one with just 12 spots. Of course, they do have to clean out the yurts, so maybe it requires a little more cleaning than a normal camp host position, but sign me up. I don't have any kind of star rating or anything for the campgrounds I review. Most of my videos are campground reviews, but I would say this is definitely one worth checking out if you're in the area. It's about 40 miles, I guess, northeast of Kernville, and Kernville's about 50 miles northeast of Bakersfield, something like that. Very, very cool place. Obviously, this campground is here specifically for those who are going to check out the Trail of 100 Giants. So if you want to check out some giant sequoias without having to go all the way into Sequoia National Park, this is the place. And we were here, as usual, most of our trips are midweek in the off season. We were here in early June. Today is Wednesday, and I think we ran into a total of 5 people, 5 people on the trail. So no crowds. Great place to get away from it all. I want to say, I think the nightly fee is $35 for tents and trailers. 106 for yurts. They're pretty good sized yurts. I believe they have bunk beds inside them. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier. There is a little gift shop. What an odd spot to find a little gift shop. I've walked in it a couple of times, and I felt sad for the person working there. Like, you must just sit here all day. I mean, I'm sure during the summer, maybe the weekends, it gets pretty busy. But there is. I assume that the gift shop would be. There's a separate parking and picnic area about, I don't know, 100 yards up the road, where that's like the main entrance, for the Trail of 100 Giants. We're at the campground, and the campground does have a trailhead right across the street. Um, but the gift shop is actually here in the campground, and weird to see a gift shop in a campground that only has 12 spots. Uh, Mainly a souvenir stand. I'm sure it's mainly for the people that are just come to visit the Trail of the 100 Giants. Not a lot as far as food goes. I believe they had firewood, they had bottled water, there were some chips and some candy. I didn't notice any other food, but I wasn't really looking. Mostly souvenirs. You want souvenirs for Sequoia National Forest or the Trail of 100 Giants? This is the place.
So after 3 nights, we hitched up, headed to Lake Isabella to dump our tanks, and then on home. Have you ever been to the Trail of 100 Giants or to Redwood Meadow Campground? Please leave us a message in the comments below. We'd really appreciate it. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and tell your friends. It really helps our channel, and we appreciate it so much. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.